let me pull up the stats.
So I don't know if we're supposed to watch our mouths now or what, but I don't care.
Maybe
We're still going to be us.
Yeah, it'll still be us.
So we are live. This is the Real ND Nation podcast. I am Evan J. Thomas. With me is Dennis Stover. In today's show, we'll be recapping now number 4 Notre Dame and their 49-35 victory over USC, finishing 11-1 on the season, 10 straight victories. What we were hoping for, solidifying the Irish playing a home game in December and dropping in at number 6 in the CFP playoff bracket. And seeing this show, we're going to be seeing the new Irish stars of the future after yesterday's early National Signing Day and championship weekend this weekend. Dennis, how you doing today?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. It's cold, windy.
And apparently we do have people watching already. I know Julian already was bitching about where we are, why we aren't.
Well, here we are. It's always blaming on me and my tech savvy.
Yeah, it's always something. So hopefully, I mean, you can type in what you want to at the bottom. I could even put on some of your some of the questions or comments on our page too.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. So we're going to start.
That's very cool. All right.
We're going to start off with what we were hoping. There's Julian right there, popping right in.
I love it.
Boom. My man. All right. So 10 straight victories, 11-1 on the season. And a freaking kind of, I wouldn't really call it a dominating win over USC, but they handled it pretty
good. They pushed them around. I mean, USC was able to score and put up some yards on the defense. We'll credit it to, USC's athletes, obviously. But Notre Dame really pushed them around. I mean, they could tell. Even Lincoln Riley said he said this was the best offense that Notre Dame that they faced playing in his 3 years there at Spoiled Children. And that obviously the defense was lights out. I mean,
defense lights out. They did give up some yardage. So I kind of put this in our
they did give up some yards.
So they gave up 360 yards passing to
They gave up 500 and some odd yards total offense.
Yeah, 197 yards rushing, 7.0 yards per carry. So that's probably the worst they've given up all year.
That's what I wanted to say is because they were getting to the edge. And if you look at all of their big runs, USC was getting to the edge. And so, that's how they were able, I think, to exploit them. And Notre Dame, they ended up obviously making plays when they had to make plays. It helps getting 2 pick sixes, but those pick sixes were from, 100 yards and 98 yards. So
it was 100 yards and
98. They were getting ready to tie the game, possibly.
Yeah, they were right there.
So I mean, at least the defense put it away. They gave up yards, but they came up when they had to play. I mean, that's why you play the game, right? You can always say, "Oh, well, we lost in turnover battle. That's why we lost." If we didn't do this, I would bellyache off. If this play went down one way, we're 5 wins away from being undefeated because we lost a combined total of 7 points. It's like, but you still lost.
Unbelievable. And it's not only that, I'm going to go over some of our offensive numbers. Riley Leonard, 17-22, 155, 2 TDs, 1 interception, 12 carries, 50 yards, 1 TD that way, so 3 total. You had Jadarian Price with a career game for him, 12 carries, 111 yards, 1 TD. Jeremiah Love got injured toward the end of the game and went out. He had 13 carries, 99 yards, 1 touchdown, 8 catches from wide receivers. Dude, they're moving the ball.
They're moving the ball. Denbrock, it took a little bit, but it's why he's there, and it's nice, It's real nice. Ever since, I don't know, it all clicked. Maybe Leonard is feeling, he looks more confident. It's nice. They're calling the right plays. They're running the ball more. The offensive line is really meshing because, there's two starters injured. It's great. Oh, hell, 3.
Yeah, I mean,
3 starters are down.
Christian Gray did kind of get picked on a bit in that game.
He did, but he made up for it with the pick 6. He got picked on a lot. They exploited him quite a bit. I mean, it didn't help, too, that he had 2 pass interference penalties. I think one of them being on third down, and they could have got off the field.
Yeah.
Know? So the defense could have got off the field. So, yeah. What were you saying?
I was going to say, so the defense was probably the most they've given up all year. In terms
of by far.
Yards, obviously points. So
by far.
By far. So that isn't a concern to me going into the playoffs.
It doesn't show the whole body of work. There's a complete body of work.
If there was any game that they would have a bad game defensively, I would say that would be it because of the fact that they won.
It was on the road,
Yeah.
But here we go. Penn State, number 3 team, getting ready to play for a Big Ten championship. They were down to USC in the fourth quarter.
There you go.
Go on. USC in 6 of their losses, they were up in the fourth quarter.
All of their losses, they were up in the fourth quarter.
I'm not defending you. I'm just saying Notre Dame dominated from start to finish. So this nitpicking of what gets me about the fucking about the committee is when did 3 losses become better than 2 losses? I don't you can't help your schedule and who's in front of you, and if it's a down year for a conference. And I mean, the ACC gets shit on a lot, and rightfully so. It's not top heavy like the SEC or the Big Ten, but they won 3 playoff championships, if I do recall, right? And they won a BCS with Jameis Winston before it went to the playoff format, right? So I don't understand what conferences have won national championships. 3 in the last 10 years. Big Ten, SEC, the majority of it, and then sprinkle in the ACC. So I know there's a SEC bias, but the fact that you're gonna put 4 of the teams in there, and one of them, Alabama's a lock. Basically, it's okay that they lost to Oklahoma 28-3 and to Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's okay, but somehow we still get scrutinized for our loss to NIU, and people are having a hard time with us being like a 5 or 6 seed. And then they reward us by going 11-1, giving us Alabama. I mean, I'll happily play Alabama. I'm not scared of Bama like I would have been in the past.
I agree with you there. Kind of something I want to go into.
I have a problem with Alabama being, Miami. Yeah, they have some bad losses down the stretch, but so did, Alabama just lost a couple games ago. And, but the fact that, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, I was getting excited, and then all these other thoughts were racing, and I forget now.
So I'm going to actually get into the CFP playoff bracket.
Yeah, let's
so you kind of mentioned earlier about how Penn State, they're number 3 right now. Notre Dame's number 4. Everything in Notre Dame's schedule so far puts them ahead of Penn State. Teams that they beat.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything. Point differential.
You could argue Texas, too.
There you go. So why is it that we are behind?
Because that NIU loss was rough.
I know.
But again, we lost to NIU. We dropped to 18. We had to come all the way back. Alabama was number 1 and lost to Vanderbilt. And dropped. They were still in the top 10, if I believe.
We're in top 10.
Mm-hmm. I mean, fuck off. I know it's Alabama, but again, Nick Saban is not there. You have to get over this. It can't be SEC bias. If you expanded it to 12 teams, then there should be more for the piece. I can't see how you can reward based on. I mean, I know strength of schedule. And they beat Georgia, yeah, but Georgia has 2 losses now. Georgia could have lost to Georgia Tech very easily. So this whole thing about this, I don't think that they should be rewarded. If any team should be there, you could argue South Carolina because they've won like 6 or 7 straight.
There you go.
So it's just, I don't. It's kind of horseshit, man. The SEC bias shouldn't be now with 12 teams. Give a little bit to everybody. It's like sprinkle it around. There's enough of the pie for everybody to have. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense.
So in the rundown, I put "get the fuck out of here" with Alabama. Anyway.
Yeah, so. Get the fuck out of here is right. Nick Saban is gone, folks. Stop the benefit of the doubt. Last year made sense because I mean they made it. They made a game against Michigan. That was, you could argue, that was the best game of the playoff last year, the Alabama-Michigan game.
The other thing too, looking at the championship games this weekend and how people are like, well, what happens if Georgia loses? Does Alabama jump up over Georgia? No, why should they? Because they made the championship game.
Right.
They've been saying, like, if SMU loses, do they drop out? It's like, no, they shouldn't. This should be the 12 right now. Nobody should be able to jump in for not playing, and nobody should be able to fall out.
You can't be rewarded for yeah, exactly. That, yes. I agree
and people were saying, like, the last couple of years when all this was going to come about, it's going to be so much easier to have these 12 teams that will be able to go in. You and I even discussed this was not going to be any easier because now you're going to have those mid-range teams, like I said from the beginning, the 8s to the 20s that are going to be the
worst.
Right. People are still talking about Colorado possibly being in the playoffs. No.
I mean, Bama should not be in, man. I know they beat Georgia, but Georgia came back big time on them in that game. Bama should not be in just because they're Bama. I mean, if we would have lost to USC and say it was by 1 point and it came down to the wire, we'd be out. Completely out.
Yeah. Julian's dropping in some interesting comments here. So he said
USC. There you go. Thank you, Julian. Exactly what I was just saying. There you go. Notre Dame could be number 3 right there if they want to throw that shit in consideration. Strength of schedule, it didn't seem to matter before because it certainly didn't matter last year with how Michigan's schedule was. I hate to keep going back to like last year or prior years and stuff, but this is the first year of this format, so that's why we're all up in arms.
Yeah.
Next year I won't be. I can point to this year, but regardless, he's absolutely right.
So as you see, Dennis and I are live. So there's going to be some kinks to knock this one out. You were kind of reluctant to do this live.
Yeah.
Because, it's you. I understand it. I'm trying to get situated with it. I know Julian likes the fact that it's live because he can live comment on it now.
Yeah, that's pretty rad. I do like
the last one we did on Tuesday where we did the live bracket reveal, I think we had over 200 views total. So for us, it's still pretty damn good.
That's a lot for us.
That's a lot for us. I mean, shit, 5 people to be happy with. I'm good with that. So we have the bracket that already dropped in. Like I said, Notre Dame lands in at number 6. Currently, if it were to happen, would play Alabama at home in December, either the 20th or the 21st.
Yeah.
Obviously, it'll probably be pretty damn cold.
What determines the day, the 20th or the 21st?
I do not know.
The TV.
Probably because
it's all about TV.
The one game would be Friday night, and then there's 3 games Saturday. You have a noon, a 3, and a 6 or something like that.
Huh.
So, or it might be like 11.
So when will we know? After this week?
I would figure so.
Sunday?
Yeah, figure so.
Man, you want to talk about?
But what about like the other teams?
Game?
Pardon?
Or you want to keep going about the college playoff?
I was going to say, where else do you think they got it wrong or right? Obviously, we know we both agree on Alabama.
I want to pull up the bracket now. I wish I had it in front of me. Anyway, I think. Well, again, 3 and 4. You could Notre Dame could you could argue Notre Dame could easily be 3. I would have no problem with that. Ohio State, they lost. Michigan. That's not a good loss. I hate this.
Oh, it was a bad loss.
I don't think there should be a such thing as when did a good loss become something good? There's no such thing.
To me, would be
it's
Ohio
a loss.
State. A good loss would be Ohio State losing at Oregon.
I know we as fans and idiots, we can talk about, if it was this or this, they should be here. But that's what fans do. But now that there's 100 million pundits out there now.
Hey, we're one of them.
I know that was the joke, the pun. There's all kinds of shit out there and all kinds of wrong, and everything. There's just so much out there now, so it'll never be right. It'll never be to everyone's liking, which is fine because that's what it should be. But I mean, I don't understand how you're gonna say Alabama's loss to Vanderbilt, and then again laying a super big egg to Oklahoma, and there is somehow okay because they beat Georgia and who else is it? There's another Missouri. It's like
didn't they beat
Georgia has 2 losses, and again Tech should have won.
Yeah.
And then yesterday on Around the Horn, what's the dude from Dallas? Kalishaw had a good thing. He's like, ties should still be a thing, and I could kind of agree with that. There's nothing wrong with a tie.
Could you imagine if there were ties on college football?
But for some reason, and he this is his work. I'm not stealing his thunder because he's right. I'm just agreeing with him, so I'm going to echo his statement. It's like we can't have ties in America because all other sports have there's ties.
Yeah, true.
And it should be.
NFL has
why not?
ties, though.
Right. Well, no, not anymore. Didn't they eliminate it, or they still have ties?
No, they still have ties.
There you go. So maybe play in overtime, and then at the end of the overtime, if it's still tied, then it's a tie.
Mm-hmm.
It'll suck and bellyache, but then it's. I think it would be easier to make a better argument, and so that's why I was agreeing with what he had to say. I thought that was pretty good.
One other thing I kind of wanted to bring up after last week's rivalry games is the whole planting of the flag in the middle of the field.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that either. Remember when Michigan State did that in Weiss's first year when we should have won that? Fuck, I was pissed, man. But Notre Dame didn't react that way, And I have no problem with the reaction, but then the fight afterwards is just silly. But don't do it. Don't plant a flag, man.
Yeah. I mean, if you remember, the one big popular one was Mayfield years ago.
Oh, yeah.
When he did it after a game, and he literally went, bow, right in the center of the field there. That was pretty interesting. But there were a good 7 of them this past weekend.
Yeah.
7 of them. So it was kind of crazy seeing all the highlights and all the bad sports etiquette and shit like that. Let's go into the early enrollees, the National Signing Day.
Yeah. Notre Dame, I think our class, what was our class? It was out of the top 10, I think.
It was out of the top 10. I'm just going to go over some of the names. We got wide receivers Jerome Bettis Jr., Elijah Burris, who is Plaxico's kid.
Yeah, we got some legacy players.
Creed Thomas and Scrap Richardson. I just love that name.
Scrap.
Offensive lineman, we picked up Maddie Augustine, Cam Heron, Owen Strebrig. If I recall, they also got some stud from USC.
He flipped from it was amazing. He was committed to USC.
Reef.
And then Madden Ferrimo.
Okay, you got him.
4 or 5 star stud.
Nolan James, the running back, supposed to be a freaking stud though.
Yeah,
too.
That kid, that linebacker that we just got at the 11th hour yesterday.
There you go, Julian. Thank you for the info. Number 12.
Number 12. Thank you, Julian. Right, awesome. He 6'3", 230 already.
For what position?
Linebacker. He's ready to play out of the box. 6'3", 230 in high school. He's a beast.
Yeah, that's
a big kid. And welcome to Notre Dame, man. Go Irish, man.
I mean, they did bring in they're bringing in another quarterback. You got Blake Herbert.
Oh, how awesome is it too? We won't have to worry about transfer portal drama with quarterback because we'll have Carr. I hope he'll be starting, hopefully, barring injury or maybe somebody else comes on. But
hopefully, yes.
So. Man, that kid's going to thrive with Mike Denbrock. Holy Christ.
I'm excited to see Carr next year. So even with Peanut Butter as a backup.
Even if Peanut Butter comes back, Peanut Butter may transfer, may not. But then there's still, I believe Kenny Minchie would stay on. And then the quarterback, we got Blake Herbert in this class. And I think there was another one. Anyway, yeah.
There is another one. I don't remember the name. But, yeah, they had 5. As of now, they would have 5 quarterbacks in the QB room, as they say.
Mm-hmm. So supposedly, if they do go in the transfer portal, there's need a defensive tackle, and I think they'll probably look at some DBs possibly as well. But they are bringing in some young ones. I mean, they're doing really well recruiting.
Well, we're going to be losing Watts. Obviously, Benjamin Morrison will be back.
I hope so.
You figure
he's a junior. Yeah, I mean, he did go out early, but supposedly they're not worried about. They have money to spend on NIL. They're not worried about it this year.
Well, there you go.
So go new AD, go baby.
Yeah, Notre Dame looking to spend some money.
Don't go too crazy because you know Ohio State, threw money out there and they had 2 losses. So yeah, there you go. Need wide receivers. I don't know. Do we? Yeah, I guess we do. I thought we got some.
Bo Collins is gone.
Yeah, he was right. And what's Chris Mitchell too? Or has he got 2 years?
Greathouse will be back, right?
Oh yeah, I would hope so.
He's only, I think, he'll be a junior.
Yes.
So okay, so we're there.
Faison
will be back, right?
Yeah.
We got
It's pretty good. We do have Colsey's finally leaving. I wish he would have worked out more. I always liked Deion Colsey, but I don't know.
Yeah. And then the big weekend is coming up. Championship.
Yeah.
Weekend. We got some games, man.
There are some games. Pretty actually looking forward to it.
Oregon, Penn State, Big Ten, Texas, Georgia, SEC, Mountain West, Boise State, UNLV, AAC, Army versus Tulane, Big 12, Arizona, Iowa State, and the ACC, SMU, and Clemson.
Yeah.
Do you see anybody actually surprising anyone in these?
You think there's going to be an upset?
I don't.
So Oregon's going to be Penn State.
I'm going Oregon. I'm going Texas.
You're taking Texas over Georgia. You don't think Georgia can beat them again?
I do think they can. I don't think they will.
They will. Got it. Okay.
This is my thought.
Boise's going to win. SMU. What about Arizona, Iowa?
I'm not a fan of Iowa State.
Okay.
I can't see
it. And then Army, Tulane.
Army, Tulane. I'm going Army. SMU. I'm going SMU. So I'm taking all the favorites in this weekend. You got.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you looking at?
I could see Penn State beating Oregon, but I just don't have enough faith in James Franklin.
That's exactly my point. That's what I'm like.
It's like, man, they really could. They could get them, but Penn State's a good team. They're not bad. Anyway, that Georgia Texas game, that one's got me. That's like up for grabs. Yeah, Julian's absolutely right. Arizona could have. I mean, the Big 12 is, and I don't get going back to this ties into the championship weekend. Going back to the playoff bracket, the fact that they're just throwing out immediately 2 conferences, the ACC and the Big 12, just based on, I don't know what it's based on.
Yeah,
there's still Division I or whatever the term is, the nomenclature is for college football now. Major college football. There's still a power conference. You know what I mean? There's still big conference. So why they're just, again, they should get a bid too. I don't know. The parity, there's no team that there was in the past in Alabama or Georgia that's just super dominant this year. And if there is, then explain it to me. Because somebody please. It's not Oregon. It's not ND. It's all. I think every team is it's up for grabs this year, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why they're just saying like, oh, Big 12 is shit because they're 15 and 16 and SMU and Clemson. I mean, that's why records matter. But this goes back to my argument with Notre Dame is that's why you play in a conference, and that's why you made these conference championship games. Maybe you're getting rid of conference championship games now, since they apparently won't matter because you're rewarding the whole fucking SEC. Just call it the SEC bracket and give them the whole fucking thing.
There you go. They're just filled 4 spots with SEC teams, and then 4 spots with Big Ten, and then you got 4 others. Yeah. And then isn't it supposed to go to 16 in like 2 years?
And then they'll still bitch. And then they'll want 10 fucking SEC teams in the conference. In the championship.
Then you'll be getting in Missouri and teams like that.
Right. Got 5 losses and you're getting rewarded. It's like these fucks with the 5 and 7 record and they're getting a bowl game. Here you go. What happened?
Yeah. Who thought they're making
wins and losses like How is 3 losses better than 2 losses?
Never.
You can't, you can't base it on the conference or, yes, there is a thing of strength of schedule. I get it. It's God, it's madness. It's just it's bullshit.
I'm honestly hoping Oregon just waxes Penn State. I want that number 5. I want that 5 seed.
I mean, he's not a bad team. They could upset Boise State. Think about it. Boise State lost, or their only loss is to Oregon, and it was by 3 points, I believe.
Oh, that was
that goes to my rant. And I know Boise State's getting in, but think of how they had to. They're still only getting 10 at best. Boise State, maybe the Boise State right now should be ranked like 3 or 4. Right? I mean, if you want to have that argument of a good loss, their one loss would probably be the best loss of the year. By 3 to the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, and unfortunately this week you and I don't have any breaking news on Matt Eberflus getting canned. So kind of glad that didn't happen. I did see though that there was a earthquake in California.
California, yes. I hope everyone is safe. I read that too, just not too long ago.
And then that shooting in New York. Holy hell, dude!
Oh, that is bananas, huh? Just an assassination attempt right there outside the Hilton. Just pow pow.
Broad daylight. Who knows what the hell that was?
That was
anyway.
That was crazy. Yeah.
We're getting out of the regular news cycle.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys all for watching. Anything before we go, Dan?
I don't. What if Clemson beats SMU? Does SMU still get in?
Or I mean, why not?
Right. That's
because Clemson's not in yet.
Correct, but they would get an automatic bid.
But they would get the automatic bid. Right. So that means to me, here's a situation then. Hopefully Clemson wins, gets that automatic bid, knocks Alabama out.
I mean, it would have to.
You'd have to.
You can't penalize a team for losing the championship
Who's
game.
12
they made
now?
It to the champ. I don't know how it should be done and voted on. I don't have the answers, so I can't. But we can debate because that's what we're doing, or talk about it, or whatever, and be pissed about it because we do love college football.
So Julian asked before we go. He's like, "Am I going to the playoff game?" I know I'd mentioned this the last couple weeks to you. If I go, it's only to tailgate.
Oh, okay. You're not.
Because I'm not paying that stupid ass price, $300, $400, $500 to get in there. Nope.
No.
I'll go watch it somewhere locally, but I'll go tailgate with the peeps.
Yeah, that's it, huh? You wouldn't go in, man. That's a whole.
It would be a hard one not to,
Notre
but
Dame
I can't fathom it.
I mean, my only excuse would be if it was like as cold as I couldn't take it, because I'm not good in the cold.
And Julian said he'll be there. So there you go.
Oh, no shit. Wow.
You and I can tailgate together. We can go over to Lee Beckton and hang out with Reggie Brooks and Lisa Kelly and whoever else is going to be there. Matt Shelton, they'll all be hanging there.
Oh, I'm sure. That place will be
Matt Shelton and Lisa
I would hope
Kelly.
That would be the loudest Notre Dame's been since, since maybe Bush Push game in 2005.
Did you see what I brought back behind me here?
Oh, I do. Actually, look at that.
I got the Matt Shelton book. I got Lisa Kelly, and Rudy is finally joining me.
I see. Old Rudy.
Old Rudy.
It's been
a while since he scrolled out of his little bucket there and he's hanging out with me.
Out of his golden pot.
There you go. Well, again, Dennis, thank you, man. Been a fun show.
You're welcome. Thank you. It was a fun
First time doing it live. It wasn't as bad as you thought it would be.
Nah, it's fine, but there's some there's some like little pauses and stuff there that
Okay, it's like any other show that we've done.
Right. Yeah, I guess it is. But you edit that part, don't you?
No, it's all it is what it So until next time, thank you guys all for watching.
Thanks.
Dennis Over, Evan J. Thomas. We are Indy Nation. Follow us all over the socials. We are maybe do it again live next week. We'll see how this goes. I mean, see what it looks like. And as Julian said, go Irish.
Go Irish. Fuck Bama.